I think I've found the perfect watch for me. Hello everyone. A brief departure from the normal fare here on this channel to talk about wristwatches. I have never been one to wear a wristwatch. I have a hard to define psychological issue with having anything strapped on my wrist. Even wearing a long sleeve shirt with a cuff, I'll almost always have the cuff rolled up. I just don't like to have something around my wrist. It's a personal defect. I don't know why that is or what that signifies. But lately I have decided that I look at my phone way too frequently. And one major reason that I look at my phone so frequently is to see what time it is. But then, of course, once I start looking for notifications or checking comments on my videos and the like. And you know how it goes. Pretty soon you've wasted 40 minutes because you looked at your phone to see what time it is. And I thought, it's time to try wearing a wristwatch again. So, of course, I had to do the research first, and I found what is the most popular, most widely used, most reliable wristwatch in the world. And in terms of the most popular, the most units sold, I think this is probably it. The Casio F91W. And that's what I have on here. Very 80s retro watch, I believe, released in 1989 when I was a high school student. So there's some nostalgia there, and it looks 80s. And you can't talk about the Casio F91W wristwatch without mentioning that it can be seen on the wrists of many, many folks, from Obama to Osama, and I guess everyone in between. Shows up in a lot of movies and television programs and things of that character because it's such a ubiquitous watch. It also has shown up, unfortunately, on Redacted because of its renowned durability and accuracy. But so, anyway, I went with the odds and purchased a watch that has been purchased by more people in history, probably than any other watch ever. And I got this. When I ordered it, I was thinking, I have relatively small wrists. I'm not a big guy. I mean, I'm maybe slightly above average in height, but I have more slender arms. But it turns out I do have average, maybe at the upper end of average wrists. I have about a 7¼ inch once I measured it. Do you hear the beep there? Sorry to distract from what I was saying, but that's one of the most pleasing things about this watch for me. I have it set up to chime every hour. It's one of the options, and it drives everybody else crazy, but I just love it. Love the sound. Anyway, so I thought, I knew that it was a smaller watch. I knew that that was one of the complaints that people had, especially men wearing this watch, is that it was so small. Watches in the 80s tended to be quite a bit smaller than the huge, enormous things that people put on their wrist today. That's a ribbon. It's not a watch. I don't have a watch that big, but that's what watches look like to me today. So went with the odds, got the Casio, knowing it might be a little small on me, and it does look a little small, but the appearance doesn't bother me so much. I work from home. I'm not, walking on any runways to impress anybody with my fashion sense, so that didn't bother me at all. It's a simple watch to operate. Has the cool look, but problem is my vision isn't as good as it was in 1989, and it can be a little bit hard to see those digits for me way down at the end of my wrist without holding it, zooming way and bringing it way up to my eyeball. So I started thinking maybe a bigger watch would be good for that reason. Now, Casio does make a very similar looking watch in a bigger size. I believe it's the W217, they call it. It looks very similar to this F91W. Same color scheme, same kind of strap. I think it has the blue kind of pinstripe around the edge. Everything, it looks very much the same. But it's bigger, and it has a bigger LCD readout. So I thought that might be an option, but I'd already spent I spent $16 on this Casio. Didn't want to spend another 16 to 20 bucks on another Casio, because then suddenly this becomes my new thing, right? I already have the pencil thing and the prayer book thing and the Bible thing and the typewriter thing. I don't need another thing. And my wife is saying hallelujah to that. So I didn't want to do a new thing. Now, I knew AliExpress is a good place to shop for things like pencils cheaply. And they also sell wristwatches. So I did a little YouTube research, got my YouTube doctorate in cheap watches, and found this company making basically Casio clones, or homage, as people nicely call knockoff watches now. This brand is Skmei. I've heard it pronounced online Skmei and Skmei, but I believe there's a extra syllable either between the S and the K, or the K and the M. So it's either Skmei or Skmei, something like that. Relatively unpronounceable name. We'll call it Skmei for the remainder of this video to prevent myself from getting more confused. But you can see the similarities. It's clearly a copy of the Casio, but much bigger. Look how much bigger the digital readout is on this knockoff, on this Skmei. $16, and you see them anywhere between 16 and 22 now. The prices have increased recently, it seems. Right now selling for $5 for the Skmei on AliExpress. With if you purchase $10 or more, you get free shipping. Otherwise, you're going to pay about $1.99 in shipping, if I remember right. So $5 to $7 for this, 16 to 22 for the smaller Casio. Now, I heard complaints from some online that the Skmei, some of their products, and they make they make their own designs, as well as lots and lots of copies of Casio and other types of watches, but mostly Casios. I heard complaints that the LCD is such that the viewing angles are poor on some of their models, but this I find to be really good. You tilt it and you can see that time at pretty much all angles, except from this side. If you can see that, you can see kind of all the segments of the LCD, rather than you have to turn it to about there before you get 304, 305. Not a problem for me. It's so much bigger that I can overlook a little bit of problem with the viewing angle from that one side when all the other angles are great. What does it have? It has the same info that the Casio has. You have the time, and you can set it to 24-hour time or 12-hour time with AM, PM. You have the day of the week, the date of the month. Apparently it doesn't have a accurate calendar that will, it doesn't know the month, I think, or the leap years cause a problem or something. I haven't run into that issue yet. Anyway, if it's a leap year problem, I have almost 4 years to worry about it. There are some various couple of symbols there that are for the chime. Well, let's go back. That pleasing sound. It's so 80s. So on the Casio, that would mean the alarm is set, and there's one alarm you can set, like a wake up alarm. The little bell symbol means the chime, the hourly chime is on. That means both, and that means neither. Accuracy. The Casio is one of its selling points, durability and reliability. It is really accurate. The paperwork says within 30 seconds a month, plus or minus 30 seconds a month. It does way better than that. A couple of seconds over a 2-week period since I've owned it. The Skmei, not quite as good, about a second a day. So right about that limit of what Casio advertises is what the Skmei I have found to be the case. But I don't mind. Once in the morning, I just check it against my computer, reset it so that it's perfectly, in sync, and I'm okay with that. It's comfortable to wear. It's not heavy at all. It's all plastic. I've heard that this is a plastic or this is a resin. I don't know the chemical compositions and how they differ, but they feel pretty similar to me. Metal buckle here versus plastic on the Casio. That's kind of a wash. Don't care really one way or the other. The functions are the same on both. One oddity of the Skmei versus the Casio, the meaning of the two alarm symbols is opposite. So that means the alarm is on, the wake-up alarm. That means the hourly chime is on. Don't know why it's opposite on this and whether it's that way for all Skmeis or if I just have an oddity. Hard to say. Other than that, everything appears to be the same. So, as much as I love the Casio, and by the way, when you order the Casio, it comes in a nice official Casio box, the whole thing. It's cardboard, so you're not buying a Rolex. But you get the packaging. When you buy the Skmei, you get a bubble wrap and a tag. A bag and a tag is what you get with the Skmei. So I suppose if you were in the market for a wristwatch and you have a inflamed nostalgia gland like I do, pining for the 80s again, or you just want to stop looking at your phone every 10 minutes to check the time and getting sucked into some argument on Twitter or must-watch video, there's 2 ways for you to go. Go with the 3 million people a year that still buy the Casio, Obama, Osama, and Dynamite, Napoleon, what's his name? Napoleon Dynamite. Or spend a third of the price, get a bigger watch, does all the same things. Longevity, I don't know. The Casio is renowned for its, it's advertises a 7-year battery, but there's all the stories online of people that have had it for 10 years, never changed the battery. It's about $1 for a battery. They both use the same CR 2016, I believe. Yeah, you can see it there, CR 2016. I fiddle with that's another thing I didn't mention. Sorry, this is all over the place, isn't it? The backlight, if only you could see, maybe I'll put another shot here, insert a shot. The backlight on the Casio is notoriously bad. I think they kept it bad as part of that nostalgia thing. It's a little green light on the side that lights up maybe the first 2 digits. Just to kind of give you a rough estimate in the dark what time it is. But this one is much better. All the digits, you can kind of see how they're lit up there. Anyway, this may be the way to go if your vision is not the best, like me. If you read the large print Bible and you got to sit close to the television, this may be the watch for you. Skmei, I didn't say the model number, 2042. Did I say that? 2042 is the model number. About $5 delivered to your door. It'll take a couple weeks from China, but worth the wait. Let's see this one on wrist. And just for fun, we'll compare. I'm not one of the guys that would wear 2 wristwatches simultaneously, but there you go. The on wrist look, the Skmei 2042 versus the Casio F91W. For me, this is about the perfect watch. Maybe for you, or go with the 3 million a year. Either way, I appreciate you watching. Hope to see you here again next time.